How y'all feeling today? How your pH? Hi, it's your girl Raven with pH Balance Podcast, and today I am with the lovely Miss Tianya. Tianya, say what's up to the people.
What's up, people?
Tianya, how's your pH today?
It's okay today.
Peace and happiness.
It's early. It's early, so it's okay.
Yes.
We're working on it.
Well, good. My pH is good too. I'm so excited to be here with Tianya. I'm going to introduce her a little bit, and then I'm going to let her introduce herself. Tianya is my friend, and I'm so proud of her.
Thank you,
because we are here at her business today. We are at Everbowl. And Tianya started and opened this business, last year or this year, right?
December will be a year. December 15th will be a year.
December will be a year. So Tianya, introduce yourself and let people know what business you have and tell them where it's located.
I am Tianya. This is my boo right here. I love her. We are in Everbowl. We are in Huntersville, right outside of Charlotte. We opened almost a year ago, so December will be a year. I'm not originally from Charlotte, but I've been in Charlotte since 2005. I am a mother of a 22-year-old. Oh, God, gets on my nerves. Still feel like he's a 2-year-old. But yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
Okay, so I wanted to have Tianya on here because Tianya inspires me.
Stop it.
I don't know if I've ever told you that, but you do. She's a black woman in Charlotte that has opened up her own franchise. And it's something that I've definitely thought about doing, but,
You have?
I haven't done it, but maybe one day I will. But this is for anyone who's wanting to start a business or ever thought about opening a franchise. I have Tianya here to explain to us, how she got started with her business, what motivated her, what she was doing before she even decided to open Everbowl. So, T, if you can tell us, what were you doing before you decided to open Everbowl and what inspired you to get here?
Sure. So I've always worked in corporate America, still work in corporate America. Since I was listening to one of your other podcasts, your episodes, and one of the topics was not knowing what your passion is and what we want to do. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know specifically what it was that I wanted to do, but I knew from when I was in high school, I wanted it to be something in entrepreneurship. What that was, I didn't know. But we know the bills still have to be paid. Right. So you do what you have to do until you can figure that out. And that's pretty much what it was. So I've been in the healthcare field for the past 20 plus years. Okay. So that's what I've been doing. Fell in love with tropical smoothie years ago. Thought that was something that I wanted to do. But the timing just wasn't right. So fast forward, my son is 22 years old. I didn't have any small kids that I needed to worry about. And plus my job was remote. Mm-hmm. So that gave me a lot of flexibility, especially during COVID time. Okay. So it was during that time I decided, this is something that I've been wanting to do. I need to explore that further. So, and that's what I did and landed on Everbowl.
Okay. So, how did you find out about Everbowl? You used to come here or?
No, this spot right here used to be another acai bowl place that went out of business. They were actually looking for someone to take it over. Okay. And I was a part of this group, and it's a franchise agency here in Charlotte. So whenever new franchises become available, they will send that information out or reach out to its members. So I just happened to see an email, was interested in it, but didn't feel right about it. So kept doing some research, saw Everbowl, reached out to Everbowl. They immediately reached back out to me, continued to do my research on them. They interviewed me. I also interviewed them because it had to be a good fit. And after I went through a couple of months of, again, interviewing them, doing my due diligence, and I decided I like what they stand for. I like the product. Number one, I think you should try their products. Mm-hmm. Whoever you decide, you need to like what you're doing, because this is something you will be doing day in and day out. I actually signed without trying their products.
Really?
I did. I had never tried an Everbowl before. I had already signed on with them before I actually tried their product. I went to a grand opening out in Indianapolis, and that was the first time I had tried their products. But again, I love what they stand for. I think we set ourselves apart because we have so many different we have so many different things to offer than your traditional acai place. So that's how I started with the franchise business. Again, every business is not right for everybody. I didn't want to do anything in the service field. This is still technically the service field, but I didn't want to do anything that I didn't like. I wanted to do something. I eat acai bowls, if not every day, every other day. Mm-hmm. So it was something that I was passionate about, I did like, and I wanted a simple concept to where if I needed to get in here and make an acai bowl for a customer, that's what I could do. I didn't want to do anything to where I got to deal with fryers and grease and all of that kind of stuff. Okay. So it needs to be something that you really like and you would enjoy doing if you had to get in here and do it.
Right. So let me ask you this, because you kind of made it seem a little easy to get this started. You was just like, yeah, I was working in corporate America, then all of a sudden I contact them, but it's not always that easy,
right? It's not. It is not.
So as far as like the financial process, like if you don't mind sharing with us, did you have to like contact the bank, or was you just balling out and already had the money? Because if so, friend, I need to borrow some.
I'm not on your level yet, friend. I don't go and just look at the bank account and say, I'm good. I wish. It's coming, but we are going to get there.
Claim that.
What? Yes, ma'am. But no, I did have to contact the bank. And that's part of the due diligence process. Mm-hmm. They'll send you a copy of their FDD. It has a breakdown of everything, all of the numbers, but you also have to know those numbers won't always be the true numbers. Right. So you have to have a backup, and I say you have to be comfortable in that space. Like for me, my goal or my plan was to still work while doing this, because I didn't want to depend on this income solely, because you're used to a certain lifestyle. Bills they still have to be paid. So that was my plan. That's not everybody's plan, but for me, I still wanted to work until I got this to where I wanted it to be. But yes, I did. I had already had a business relationship with the bank. Shout out to First Citizens. That's my go-to. But I already had that relationship with them. So it made it a little bit easier for me. So all I did, I contacted my person who I deal with at the bank and sat down, went over some numbers, and she would honestly tell me whether this made sense or it didn't make sense. And at the end of the day, it did. Now, did I have to put some cash into it? I did. Okay. But there are so many different options. A lot of people do the SBA. You can do a personal or private loan. I decided to go with the bank and just do a private loan. At the time, the interest rates were so much better. And what scared me, I am a very conservative person, very, very conservative. But what scared me about the SBA part of it is that the interest rates fluctuate. It was not a fixed rate. Oh, okay. For me, that was scary, and I didn't want to do that just starting out, to where today my interest rate could be 6%, and then next week it could be 13%. So, and that's going to make a real difference in your numbers. Right. So I decided to just do a private loan. Okay. And it worked out. Okay.
So what are some of the difficulties or struggles that you faced with opening your business? Because as we know, everything doesn't just run smoothly when you open a business. Right. Sometimes it takes time to build your business to where you want it to be. So right. Since you've been open almost a year, yes. What would you say have been the hardest things or the trials that you've overcame with the business?
What I will say, number one, is hiring. Staff has been my biggest headache.
I told you could hire me.
I am going to. I'm a holder to that. It's just staff. In this type of business, majority of, if not all, of your staff will be teenagers, high schoolers, or college students.
Right.
And if you have kids, teenagers to be exact, you know how that can be.
Right.
So having them show up for work, as soon as you make a schedule, they tell you, oh, I can't work, or there's a football game and I'm not showing up for work. So I've had to work a lot of shifts, and some of those by myself, especially on Fridays. So that has been the hardest challenge, getting people in here who want to work.
Right.
And my thing was, they're teenagers, and it's also showing them that it's real life. This is reality. A lot of my kids are seniors. They will be graduating this year, majority of them going off to college, but also letting them know this is a part of the real world. Unless you have parents or someone who's going to take care of you the rest of your life and you don't have to work,
Right.
you have to be responsible in anything that you do. I'm not just saying that because you're here, and I tell them, if you leave here and go somewhere else, you go across the street to McDonald's, Chick-fil-A,
Right.
think about the environment that you're working in. I think it's a pretty good environment here, but you're not going to find that everywhere. And then also, again, you have to be responsible. You have to show up for work.
Right.
On a job, your boss or manager may not be as flexible and as lenient as me. You tell them you're not showing up, you might not have a job the next day.
And you know what's so crazy? Because when I was a teenager, I worked. Like, I feel like if I wanted those new Jordans that was coming out, I was at work every day during the week when I was supposed to. So I think today these kids, they're not like us. They're built different. Parents, stop giving your kids so much. Make them work for it. Teach them the reality of life, okay? Because that's another topic for another day.
Right. See, I just gave you another topic.
That's a topic for another day. But definitely teach your kids to work, because when they get out here, we're not going to be able to be here forever for our kids, unfortunately. So the reality is we want to give our kids some work ethic, okay?
Right.
So okay, T. So we got on that these kids don't want to work. Is there anything? Is there anything else that you have overcame?
I will say just sometimes the uncertainty part of it, because every day is different. There are going to be those days that it's slow. We don't have the foot traffic that's coming in,
Right.
and I'm trying to do better. I know we should be all over our numbers, but I'm trying to do better by not looking at it every day, all day, because I'm
Right.
constantly looking at those
Right.
numbers. And I'm like, man, today was not a good day. But just knowing you are going to have those days. And
Right.
again, for me, that was one of the reasons I decided to keep working, because every day won't be a good day. A lot of times it takes a year plus before you can get your business to where you want it to be.
Right.
A lot of businesses will fail or go out of business in less than a year's time. So I'm proud that we are still here going on a year and hopefully, beyond that. But those are one of the things, being able to watch your numbers, your cost, all of that, because I want my staff, my kids, and I always say my kids, that's what I call them. I want them to be able to get the hours, because I do have a few of them to where they want to work. They come in here and they're like, oh, it's senior. I got senior pictures to pay for. Mm-hmm. There's some new sneakers that I want. Just
Right.
like you said, I have one girl, she is 16 and she has to buy her first car. Most of my kids, their parents have purchased them cars, but no, she has to work for her car. So to me, that means so much more.
Right.
If I can give her the hours,
That's
I
special.
am going to give her the
Right.
hours, because she wants to, and she doesn't feel any type of way, that she has to work and pay for her own car. So that's one of the things too. I want to give them the hours, but they're not always there. So again, just making sure you're watching that and you're knowing that what your numbers look like. And again, you're going to have some bad days. Every day won't be a good day.
Okay, so what can you tell people or someone who is watching and they want to start a business, any type of business, or what kind of encouragement can you give them to help them continue to push through?
I say if it's something that you want to do, you are passionate about, just do it. That fear or that doubt will always be there. I still have those thoughts, those doubts to this day. There are plenty of days, a couple of days this week, I'm like, did you do the right thing? Is this what you really wanted to do? So no, you're going to have those days, but you can't let that stop you. You just got to do it. If it's something that you want to do, you're passionate about it, I'm going to say make sure you do your due diligence. Don't just jump into it. Don't just take the franchisor's word for everything, because that's their business, is to sell something. So make sure you are doing your due diligence. Get an attorney involved to go through the paperwork, especially if you're doing a franchise, because the paperwork that they send you is over 200 pages. That's going to take time. You're not going to catch everything that's in there because it's a lot of legal stuff. So hire you an attorney. It will take some money to be able to do some of this stuff. Again, you're like, I don't want to spend $2,000 on an attorney, but you'd rather spend $2,000 up front than have to spend a couple $1,000s or $100,000 later in an investment that you've wasted.
Right.
So do your due diligence up front. There are going to be a lot of long days, long nights, hard days. For me, because I am wearing all of the hats right now. Still to this day, I still wear all of the hats. So I am the person who's doing payroll. I'm doing hiring. I'm running to get goods or products and stuff that we need for the store. So be prepared for those things. If you're able to hire a manager to do those things, then great. But I say get in the business, learn the business, and that was my number one goal. To eventually have a manager and to where I don't have to be here so much, but I wanted to learn everything about this business so that if you do have a manager, you do have an accountant and all of those things, you still know what's going on.
Right. And I can say that I really had to learn that for myself, even with this podcast. That I have to get in here and learn how to set these mics up and do the recording myself and set the lights up and even somewhat edit, because sometimes people aren't always dependable. So you definitely got to get in there and learn how to do it yourself. And as far as what you said about the business, sometimes it doesn't always happen as quick. Like some people think that business, it means, you're just gonna be successful. You open and then you're gonna be making $1 million within the first 2 months. Sometimes it happens like that, but a lot of times it doesn't. It, like even with me starting my podcast, I launch. I might have only had 25 subscribers, and it might be my closest friends. It is hard to get people even to like your stuff. To even just hit a subscribe button and just like it or share it.
Or just support you in general.
Yeah, it's hard to get people to do that. So, I would say when Tianya opened her business, because I opened a couple businesses before I even started my podcast. And, I remember how I felt and the lack of support. And I just was like, okay, I'm going to show up for my friend on her opening day. I'm going to be buying even though I wanted some free bowls. I ain't going to lie. But I paid for every one of my bowls.
You did.
Far. Even when she offered it, I paid for my bowls. Now, I wanted a little extra granola. I ain't want to pay for that. But she let me get...
I did, friend.
I said, just let me get the extra granola. I mean, come on. Dang. But she gave me a little extra granola. But I really, really, really love her Erebos. So if you guys are ever up here in the Huntersville area across from the hospital.
Yep, right across from Novant.
Yes, come over here and enjoy an Erebos. They are absolutely delicious.
Thank you,
and it's really nice to hear. Come support this Black queen.
We appreciate all the support. One of the other things that I will say is very important is to have a circle around you who supports you. because you're going to have those days where it feels like it's just you, nobody's here to support you. And what I will say, I'm starting to get emotional. Ray, from day one, I'm a person that I don't always tell people stuff right away when I'm doing it. I need to make sure everything is together before I do say something. And from day one, when I mentioned it to you, you were just genuinely excited for me, supported me from day one. It might have been because you wanted some free stuff, but no. But no, from day one, you have been supportive. We're almost a year later, and you are still that supportive friend, person in my circle that I have to say thank you for. And I am honored that you even asked me to do this episode, or this recording for your podcast. I am honored. But make sure you have that circle of people, because you're gonna have the naysayers, you're gonna have the doubters. Do not let them stop you from doing what it is that you want to do, because you will have those friends like Ray, even if it's just that one person who's in your corner, your hype man, because she is my hype man.
Yeah, because I need her to get this money. I got a few things I want. I want to get my body done. I want to ride on a yacht.
Okay, I'm with you on the yacht. What else you doing to the body? Because it's already good, so stop playing.
I'm just kidding. But yes, absolutely. I want to be that person and to push people, and that's what keeping your peace and happiness is all about.
Yes.
This is not a Christian podcast, but I have faith, right? So I know the Bible says it's more peace or happiness in giving than it is in receiving. So that keeps my peace and happiness, trying to be a genuine person. And don't get it twisted. I have moments where I might have a little jealousy creep up on me, but we're imperfect, right? So, or whatever. So I try to, when I have those feelings or whatever, I try to quickly change my thoughts, pray to God to get that spirit out of me, because it's natural to have it. The problem is you don't want it to consume you. But I will say, friend, I ain't never been jealous of you. I'm super proud of you, and I'm so happy for you. And like I said, I want her to get this money because it benefits me too, okay?
There's enough for all of us.
Yes.
I am super proud of you. I know you've gone through a lot of stuff, a lot of hardships, difficulty in this past year and a half, 2 years. But just looking at you, people who know you, see you every day, even the people who don't know you would never know the things that you've gone through, and you still push through.
Yes.
So that's the thing. We still have to get up every day and push through, and you look good doing it.
Thank you. And thank you guys for watching. Before we go, thank you so much for being a part of this. And I am proud of you. Keep going, keep pushing.
Thank you.
And your business will keep growing, girl. I don't have a doubt about that. So
hopefully we can get some more locations.
Yes.
Just come check us out, y'all.
Yes. And thank you guys for watching pH Balance Podcast. It's Ray and your girl T, and we're out.